Welcome to Video 6, Progress Monitoring for Meaningful Counting. In this video, we are going to focus on using progress monitoring to ensure that math instruction builds on what each child knows as it relates to meaningful counting. Progress monitoring involves two key instructional practices. Gather information on a child's existing knowledge and skills relative to a developmental progression, and tailor instruction to children's learning needs and continuously monitor progress. Let's begin our discussion on progress monitoring for meaningful counting by taking a look at the number and operations developmental progression. The progression tells us that children are ready to engage in meaningful one-to-one counting when they can subitize small sets up to 3 or 4. Having children begin counting small sets that they can already subitize supports development of their cardinal understanding. That is, knowing how many are in a set without counting reinforces the result of a child's one-to-one count. So, take into account the quantities a child can subitize when deciding when they are ready to move on to object counting and what set sizes to ask them to count. For a child who is not yet subitizing quantities of 3 or 4, continue to focus on subitizing or limit meaningful counting activities to quantities the child can subitize. It won't harm the child to be exposed to counting activities, but it will not make sense to target them explicitly yet, such as in small group activities or games. Now, let's turn our attention to children who are engaged in meaningful counting activities. As discussed in videos 2, 3, and 4 of this module, meaningful counting involves the coordination of the how to count principles. For this module, those principles include stable order, one-to-one tagging, and cardinality. Let's take a look at the counting principles in action. You're going to watch separate video clips of 3 children counting. Imagine these children are in your classroom and you are interested in gauging their meaningful counting skills. As you watch each clip, take notes in your learning journal about what you notice about the children's counting skills using the excerpted sections of the progress monitoring logbook. After you watch the clip, you'll be asked to indicate which skills you did and didn't observe, and then decide on next steps for the child using the developmental progressions. Let's watch the first video now.
How many blocks am I hiding, Kiari?
3.
3? Shall we check? What do you think? 3? Should we count? You think maybe there's 4? You think it's more than 3? Should we check, see if it is more than 3? All right, where should we start? Where do you want us to start counting? So 1, you want to touch them with me? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and
6.
So how many blocks do I have on my tray?
1, 2, 3, 4,
6 blocks are on my tray. It's a lot more, right? Are you ready to see it really quick, Kiari? How many blocks am I hiding?
3.
3. Should we check? Let's see. What do you think? 1, 2, 3, 4.
5.
So how many blocks? 5 blocks. We counted 5 blocks on my tray. That's a lot of blocks, right?
What did you notice about Kiari's counting? How would you describe her application of the how to count principles? Pause this video and take a minute to summarize your observation in the space provided in the Teacher Learning Journal. Let's take a look at how you could have completed the logbook. Although her teacher provided support, Kiari appears to know the counting sequence to at least 6. Therefore, her stable order knowledge falls within the second band on the meaningful counting developmental progression. Given that Kiari is 4 years old, her performance is within the range of other children her age. Kiari also demonstrates accurate one-to-one tagging to 6. That is, she assigned only one count word to each hexagon in a set. Her one-to-one tagging skills fall within the second band on the progression, consistent with other children her age. Kiari was unable to demonstrate understanding of the cardinality principle, that the last count word spoken tells how many there are in total. For example, when asked how many hexagons were on the tray after she counted them with her teacher, Kiari counted them again instead of saying 6. Kiari correctly answered how many for a set of 5, but only after her teacher held up 5 fingers. Finally, you probably noticed that Kiari over-applied the number word 3 when asked to subitize sets of 5 and 6. This indicates that she doesn't have a firm concept of threeness yet. Kiari's cardinality understanding falls within the first band of the progression and is within the range of other children her age. Based on your observation and the number and operations and meaningful counting developmental progressions, what should be the teacher's next step with Kiari? Pause the video and jot down your thinking in your teacher learning journal. Kiari's teacher should continue to provide opportunities for Kiari to practice subitizing and counting small quantities. This will help Kiari build her cardinal understanding. Now, let's watch a video of a different child engaged in a counting activity.
Ready? How many is there now? 5.
5.
What happened now?
5.
There's still 5? I think you know my game. I'm gonna try this many.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
How many?
10.
There's 10 this time? How about now?
10.
Still 10. All right, I'm gonna try one more. Let's see. It's gonna be all of my bottle caps.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still 10.
How many is it?
Still 10.
There's 10. Did you count all of them? Why don't you try one more time? Because there's so many, you may have not counted everyone. You want to try again? Yeah, make sure you touch each one.
13.
How many?
13.
There's 13? What if I hide them?
13.
There's still 13. You got it, Tanel. Yep, there they are. You got them.
What did you notice about Tanel's counting? How would you describe his application of the how to count principles? Pause this video and take a minute to summarize your observation in the space provided in the Teacher Learning Journal. Tanel can correctly recite the count sequence up to 13 and probably higher if given the opportunity. Therefore, his stable order knowledge falls within the third band of the developmental progression based on what we observed and is within range of other 4-year-old children. Tanel can accurately use one-to-one tagging for sets up to 10. However, he had difficulty keeping track of his count when presented with 12 bottle caps. The first time he counted, he skipped 2 bottle caps and counted only 10. The second time, he counted 1 bottle cap twice and ended with a count of 13. Tanel's one-to-one counting skills fall within the second band of the developmental progression, which is in the range of other children his age. Tanel also demonstrates cardinal understanding when he answers, how many, even when the objects are out of view. Note that even though Tanel miscounted the set of 12, when he was asked how many were hiding, his answer of 13 still demonstrates that he understands that the last count word spoken tells the cardinal amount. Tanel's cardinal understanding falls within the second band of the developmental progression and is consistent with other children his age. Based on your observation and the number and operations and meaningful counting developmental progressions, what should be the teacher's next step with Tanel? Pause the video and jot down your thinking in your teacher learning journal. When Tanel is counting a large set of objects, Tanel's teacher can encourage him to think of different strategies he can use to keep track of which objects he's counted. Tanel is also ready to engage in tasks that require him to use his counting skills to compare sets larger than 3. Now, let's watch the last video of a child engaged in a counting activity.
Like, there are so many squares. Do you think you could find out how many there are? All of them? Let's see. How's this gonna go? That's so many. How are you gonna keep track? What do you think?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51.
How many do we have?
51.
51. And you line them up and you turn the corner and you turn another corner. You line them up as you were keeping track. You counted one number for each one. How many did you get?
51.
51. I didn't know so many fit in the bowl. That is a lot that was in the bowl. You counted them all. So if we hide them, let's see. Are they all hiding? No peekers? How many are in there, Bamla?
51.
There's still 51 in there because we didn't add any more and we didn't take any away. There they are.
What did you notice about Bamlak's counting? How would you describe his application of the how to count principles? Pause this video and take a minute to summarize your observation in the space provided in the Teacher Learning Journal. Bamlak uses accurate one-to-one tagging to count 51 tiles. He places each tile on the edge of the mat as he counts them to keep track of his count. His stable order understanding falls within the 7th band of the progression based on what we observed. Given that Bamlak is 4 years old, his skills fall outside the range of other children his age. His one-to-one tagging skills fall within the 3rd band of the progression and is consistent with other children his age. Bamlak shows evidence of cardinal understanding because he can identify the cardinal amount of the set of tiles when they are visible and hidden. This places his cardinal understanding in the 2nd band on the progression, which is within range of other children his age. Based on your observation and the number and operations and meaningful counting developmental progressions, what should be the teacher's next steps with Bamlak? Pause the video and jot down your thinking in your Teacher Learning Journal. Bamlak's strong counting skills mean he is ready for the next step in the number and operations developmental progression, making counting-based comparisons of collections larger than 3. Now that you've completed observations for all 3 students, you're ready to update the classroom sheet. Regularly updating the classroom sheet will allow you to track skill progression for individual children and the classroom as a whole, so that you can provide tailored instruction that builds on what children know and can do. Now you're ready to begin progress monitoring for meaningful counting in your classroom. Remember to make notes of children's math skills not only during structured activities, but also during unstructured times and in all areas of the classroom. You will also want to continue progress monitoring for subitizing. As you plan for math activities in your classroom, frequently consult your progress monitoring data in the logbook and the developmental progression to help you select activities, group children, and tailor instruction for individual children. Each activity in this module has a section on how to use your progress monitoring data to accommodate the different skill levels children bring to the activity.